Well, welcome back to the Ropes Family Podcast. We're on episode 39. That's a bunch of episodes.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. So we finished off our Fruit of the Spirit series, and it happens to be like we are in, ESPN, sorry if you heard that, but we happen to be in the holiday season, or the Christmas season. I've got to get out of the habit of calling it holiday season, because it's Christmas season. We say Merry Christmas around here. But we're right in that season, and there's a lot that kind of goes into this season that I don't think that is talked about enough, but it's definitely felt. And I don't know if the solution is going to be found on this podcast exactly, but I think we're going to try to maybe not have a solution, but maybe just say you're not alone in these struggles. So when you came up with this idea of dealing with the stress and loss that this season brings, because there are a few things that we experience this time of year, right? It's one of them is joy, which is good, right? It's a great time. This is a great time of joy, like everybody's happy, good. Usually, that's one of the things that we experience. But some of them are not so great, like loss. We experience loss or grief that's associated with the loss that we've maybe experienced in the last couple of years or so. And then this one really gets me is stress. This really affects me during this time of year, is stress and trying to keep up with all the things that we have. But I wanted you to, Courtney, define Christmas season just so we can kind of get that basis.
Okay, I had to go to AI for this one because
AI.
Webster didn't tell me. So AI defines it as the Christmas season is a time of year that typically begins in late November or December and ends in early January. It's a time of celebration that includes Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and also known as the holiday season.
Yeah. Way to go, AI. Way to just
Killing it.
We got to keep Christ in Christmas. Okay, AI. That's what you need to learn is about Jesus. I wonder if AI could get saved. Well, that's a topic for a whole other podcast. That's a topic for a whole other podcast. But anyway, back to kind of what are the things that we experience. One of them is loss, and you kind of have a story here. I'll let you share.
Yeah, my grandpa died when I was 16, and he was my favorite person, and he helped raise me for part of my life. And he loved Christmas Eve, and that was his thing. And so after he died, it just wasn't Christmas Eve anymore.
Right.
Like I couldn't go to my grandma's. I didn't want to do the things that he had done because it didn't seem like it was okay.
Yeah.
And still Christmas Eve's not the same. But I changed it to not try to mimic what he did because it hurt so bad. And we just started doing our, different things.
Yeah. I have a very similar kind of thing. Mine's more related to Thanksgiving almost. My grandma, she passed away about 3 years ago. But her birthday is right around Thanksgiving. It's November 24th. Usually falls on Thanksgiving. And so sometimes when holidays, just like you said, they aren't the same anymore, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. Our family tries.
Right.
We try so hard. I'm sure your family tried so hard to keep that going, but it's just so much different, to try and carry on through those holidays without the ones we loved, and you can tell that she is missed at these kind of gatherings. You can tell nobody can quite bring it up or pinpoint what it is, but we all know that it's because she's not here.
Right.
It's because this is what she normally does on this time. This is everything runs a lot smoother, ran a lot smoother because she just had a plan and she was like the glue that kept us all together. And I think you're right. Traditions will change and they'll adapt to how we do things, how we do things with the holidays, but we also learn how to deal with the grief over time as well. It doesn't go away.
Things are never normal again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what you consider normal.
Yeah.
You just change.
Yeah, they just change and go, and you just kind of learn how to adapt. I think that's the right word.
And I don't think it's ever going to be easy to not think of them on that day.
Yeah.
You're still going to. It's just becomes easier to do it without melting down.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the only one that melts down, but
no, I don't think so. Uh, Allison says this all the time on our ways to go see my family. She's always very cautious of me. She watches me, and she can tell, the by either the way I'm talking or the way I'm acting or the way I'm not talking or acting or whatever. She can tell that it's heavy on me right now, and I'm feeling it. And I've kind of struggled with holidays for a long time, but we won't get too much into that, because I don't want to be a bah humbug is the right word, I guess. But you've got a couple verses here that I'll let you share.
well, I know that these verses helped me when I was going, especially right there at first. And Psalm 147:3 says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." And that, I know some people going through some hard stuff right now, and that's a verse that I would definitely have to hold on to, especially at times like this. And then 2 Corinthians 1:3-4 says, God is our merciful Father and the source of all comfort. He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others.
I think that's huge right there. He comforts us so we can comfort others. It doesn't stop with us, and I think that's how the church should operate too, and let the word dwell within you richly. I think the word should operate within you or dwell within you so you can take the word out. Same thing with God's comfort and love and peace and all the fruit of the Spirit. Those things could come from God, so we can send those things out.
And I think we have to remember that at Christmas, when we are super excited about something, there might be somebody else that's hurting, and especially because I just get so overwhelmed, which we're going to talk about, but I forget there might be somebody else going through something way worse.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to comfort them or be there for them however they need.
Yeah.
Especially at this time.
I think that's a good point, is to just be aware of the people around you, and always looking for opportunities to show love and mercy. And that's one thing that Jesus did. I don't know if you guys listening have done the family worship guide, but that was one of the points that in, I think, one of the weeks, I can't even remember, in Luke, that Jesus was on his way to go heal Jairus' daughter, right? Because she was dying. She had died. But he was kind of taking his time, and he was trying to get through some crowds, and a lady touched him and was healed, and so he was always looking for somebody to love, to minister to. He was making sure that, he was keeping his, I don't know the right word to say, he was being open to ministering, to loving people. He wasn't just shutting it off.
He wasn't in too big of a hurry.
Right. And, and that's also because he's God and he knows what's going to
That
happen.
too.
But, he wasn't in a big hurry, and he was always looking for an opportunity to show love. And I think that's a big thing that we can do in the holidays.
So to add to loss, we also have stress.
Yeah. And stress during the holidays is tough. And so when I was kind of processing this, I wanted to ask, we define the Christmas season, but what is Christmas? What is it truly about? And when we think about stress, are we missing the mark of what Christmas is? And sorry, I'll let you describe your family during the holidays. I think you described it really good. And if anybody knows you guys, it's very
spot on. So I mean, I always had great holidays growing up, and our family does everything together. We're all here. People call us Greek all the time.
Yeah.
Because, you go to my kid's baseball game, there's 30 people there. That's ridiculous. But we do everything together. So Christmas is always huge. And we want to all be together in one house doing everything together. And I know that's not the case for everyone. I know it's not always special to them. And in the last few years, I've definitely felt like I've put pressure on myself with Christmas, and it hasn't been as Christmassy.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Christmassy?
Christmassy.
It's me putting pressure on me. Nobody else has ever done it. But
where do you think that pressure comes from? I feel that pressure too. What is it about the season, like the Christmas season and the Thanksgiving season Thanksgiving, I feel a lot of pressure. I don't know if you do, but what about those holidays brings on so much pressure?
I don't know. With me, it's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing. I mean, my kids' friends are getting these massive, elaborate things. And I'm like, well, if you're going to get your kid that whatever, then my kid needs to get something that good, or they're going to be comparing their stupid Lego set to your ginormous whatever.
Yeah.
And my kids have never even made like a big deal about it. They've never even put pressure on me. It's just me putting pressure on me. And so guess who that is? Oh, the devil.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing, and I feel like the pressure comes from all around us. Like you said, it comes from comparing to others and seeing what other people get, what other kids get down the road or whatever. And I think we just compare ourselves, because it's kind of hard not to, because we're surrounded by, I think the pressure comes from all around us, and that's why it feels like pressure, like, I don't know, pressure cookers, but like kind of feels like that. Mm-hmm. There are times where recently there's been times where my mom or Allison will ask me about Christmas stuff, and I can't answer it, like I'm so stressed and focused on trying to keep the ship that we have afloat. Ship that we have afloat, that I shut down on the topic of when gifts come up. Like, what are we going to get, who, what, and it drives Allison crazy. She's like, she's like, we need to figure this out. And I literally don't have the bandwidth. Like, I don't know where any of this is going to come from. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to win $100 somewhere and be able to buy Christmas. We won $100 on something. That's where that came from. It was a scavenger hunt. Whatever. We won $100. That's not the point. But maybe we'll win $100 and we can go buy a gift for somebody. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure all the parents will experience something like this. We want so much for our kids. We want them to look back on the holidays and have so much joy. Mm-hmm. But we should remember. I think this is the crucial part of defining what Christmas is. We should remember where the joy comes from. It doesn't come from all the gifts under the tree or what Santa brings or, whatever. The true reason or the true joy comes from Jesus and what he did. And we're celebrating him coming, Emmanuel, God incarnate, coming to be with us, humbling himself to be with us. And I think that is what we most need to remember.
Mm-hmm. We do have to remember that. And then in my life, I have to remember that comparison is a thief of joy. I've heard it. I've said it. I've written it down. I have it everywhere I can possibly have it. But still, that's what the devil uses with me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm looking at what you're doing and I'm like, wow, he's killing it over there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not. I'm not doing anything for my kids. I'm not making it special.
Yeah.
In quotes. Then he has me in his grasp because I'm like, oh, I have taken all my focus off Jesus, all of my focus off everything, but making sure my kids have it as good as your kids.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
My kids are mad because I haven't hung up our Christmas lights because all the other houses on the street have the Christmas lights. But I'm literally just terrified because my house is kind of tall and I'm like, I'm going to fall off of this ladder. I have a history of falling off ladders.
Do that.
You can ask Allison on our first date. I fell off a ladder. So, I'm just like, my kids are like, Dad, all these other kids have Christmas lights in their house. Why don't we, Daddy? What's wrong with you? But I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it with the comparison is the thief of joy and the devil uses it. I think you nailed it. The enemy would love to distract us from the true reason of the season, not to get cheesy, but he would love to distract us. So he uses the things of this world, like social media and our phones and the relationships that we have, to create stress and pressure to distract us from Jesus. Mm-hmm. We're so caught up in trying to keep up with the Joneses or making sure our house has Christmas lights on it or whatever that, it's that it's put so much pressure on us that distracts us away from Jesus. I think our culture has fallen for this, hook, line, and sinker. Like, we see what other parents and families do. So we see how happy they are, and we want to be able to deliver that for our kids. And so I think you nailed it when you said comparison is the thief of joy.
Well, I had a friend tell me this past weekend that my kids always have themed outfits, and she was like, I just don't do themed outfits. And I was like, that's okay. It doesn't matter. And she was like, well, I just feel ridiculous because your kids are always dressed to whatever the holiday is. And I was like, that's a me thing. That's that's me being psycho, really.
But sometimes we don't even think about the things that we do or post that could be causing pressure for other parents to do, and that's a tough thing. And should we not post that stuff? I think it's fine if we post that stuff.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's you being psycho. It's not you saying this is the standard for us.
Oh, no way.
This is what you have to do to be cool like Courtney Hill.
I am very cool.
But I think you have a great way. You found a verse that kind of gives us some good practical advice that kind of helps us battle that comparison as the thief of joy.
And I think it's year round. It's not just at Christmas or in the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. But James 4:7, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. I
think that verse kind of lines up with a lot of the things that we've talked about, like let the word of Christ dwell within you richly. What is it? Seek first his kingdom of God, and all these things will be added. Submit yourself, therefore, to God.
See, if you're totally focused on Jesus, it's perfect. Yeah. Obviously,
yeah. If we are focusing our joy on and showing the joy and teaching our kids true joy of Christmas, then we're going to show them Jesus, not the gifts under the tree.
Right.
So for the family challenge, I want you. The question that I wrote is, what is this season truly for? 'Tis the season for stress and grief, or is it the season of joy to the world? The Lord has come. And I want you guys to ask yourself that question in your family. What does that look like? Which side are you on? And, that may range day by day, right? Some days we may be joy to the world, the Lord has come. And other days it may be, man, I'm so stressed out. I can't figure out how to get these gifts for my kids, and there's a balance, but hopefully by seeing this and acknowledging this, you can be more on joy to the world, the Lord has come. All right, that's all we got this week. I think we'll have one more for this calendar year of 2024. So we will talk at y'all next week, and then we will see y'all in 2025. It's been a pleasure. We're 39 episodes in, so it's gonna be crazy when we're at 100 and then 139 and then 5,000 episodes in this little tiny podcast room behind the sanctuary.
Killing it in the cold one.
All right, we'll talk at y'all later. Peace.